My name is Ayyam. I'm married to a person called François Sureau, so my name now is Ayyam Sureau. And we founded this school together. I was born in the United States from Egyptian parents, and I've been living in Paris for the last 33 years. So we founded it in 2008. It was very not small association, not in the sense where it welcomed few people, but it was a small thing. The idea was just to accompany asylum seekers in their first steps in France, you see. At the beginning, we just sort of opened a space and for asylum seekers to meet people that would want to help them, you see, and we sort of hosted this encounter. Idea being that asylum seekers come for protection, and as being here, you are the responsibility of the people. The other idea was that at the time, and things have changed a little, the procedure was very long, very long. Asylum seekers would wait 2 years, maybe 3 years, and I have seen more. And in those 2-3 years, of which this is typical to France, they were not allowed to work. And so they were basically just sitting around, waiting. And we were thinking, this is ridiculous. You know, France grants so many status of asylum. Why don't we make use of this time? These 2-3 years could be used in learning French, getting to know French people, French manners, French way of life. We can make use of this time. You see, we can do something out of this time so that it is not lost. They have already lost so much. Their lives have been broken when they left their countries, and the least we could do is, you know, just avoid losing a few more years, just this 2-3 years. This is how it started. We actually reached out once in October 2008. On a piece of paper we wrote, we are starting an association on the 8th of October. Please come to, it was Gare de Lyon at the time, this address at this time, 9 o'clock. And we thought, you know, nobody's going to show up, you know. And, and actually 4 people did. 4 Afghan young men did. And we gave a first sort of session for these 4 guys. The day after, they were 40. The day after, 80. And by Christmas, we were 400. And since then, we have never reached out. So what happens is that the students reach out for more, which is great, because it means it builds up like a family, you know, where family bring friends and friends bring family and friends and so on. But it has started with this tiny nucleus of 4, just 4, yeah, 4 nights. You know? At the beginning, it was 100% Afghans, and the Afghans introduced Iranians, Tibetans. How did they know them? They shared the metro, they shared their housings, hotels. They met them out there in other parts of Paris, and they would tell them, "Yeah, come, I have a good association, you know, you come with me." And so it started with those Afghans, and they introduced, now we have, I think, maybe 15 different nationalities. How do you say it? In the interest of France and the French people, it is very important that these adults are welcomed in a dignified way, welcomed really, you know, and treated properly by France. They expect a lot from this country. I think if it's done properly, they will give so much more to France. You see, I come from a family where it has been exiled. You have no idea how grateful people who have been welcomed in a country stay. Their children, their grandchildren, we never forget. People think that refugees come to Europe or to France to build a better, it is not true, a better, no, they are alive. In their own countries they'd be dead, all right? They would be under bombs or persecuted or tortured or imprisoned or jailed or whatever. Here they are free, but in terms of material life, you see, it's going to be less. Or that's a fact. But their children are going to be, if they stay here, are going to be born in those free countries. And I think that if their parents were happy, it is very important for this new generation. And sometimes here in Pierre Claver we say, we're not working for you guys, we're working for your children. In the last years, the attitude of French people, European people in general, has changed dramatically towards the refugees. And I think there is a lot to be done towards the French people. And I speak here from a place that is mine because I am not French, you see. And it makes me really sad. Makes me very sad. I'm speaking really for myself. To see the shame or the anger, which is for me the same thing, from the French. Some French people are very ashamed of the way refugees are treated. You know, the universities, the companies, the people, the volunteers, everywhere you go. I think it's for me it's amazing. There are sometimes I'm just flabbergasted. It's amazing what the French do. You see, there is no reason in the world to be ashamed. You see, and I myself am very angry at people who shame the French. It makes me very angry. You see, because I have never seen a people so generous, so quick to help, no questions asked. And the other part is anger. Anger is built on complete ignorance. You see, the ignorance of who the refugees are. And these are the two things that I think we should fight together. You see, the anger and the shame. And that is why here at Pierre Claver we are not at all in a position where we want to support the refugees, help the refugees, you know, not at all. Actually, we ask the French people to, of course, accompany, help the refugees, and we ask the refugees to help the French people, to help them, to support them, to make it easier for them, and especially to end the shame, you see, and the anger, you know, to show a face, and to behave in a way, and to explain themselves all the time, to express themselves all the time, so that the French understand who these people are. And this is, for me, this is fundamental. This is what we're here about, is the reciprocal thing between the refugees and the French. And it is both-sided. I mean, Pierre Claver is trying to help the refugees. It certainly is trying to help France with the help of the refugees.